The opinions expressed on this program are solely those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of either Spectrum Generations or Time Warner Cable. Mature Lifestyle is made possible by Knowlton Hewins Roberts Funeral Homes and Cremation Service. Our homes are warm and welcoming, and we take care of you and your family like we would our own. Call us anytime. We are here for you.
Hello and welcome to Mature Lifestyles. Spectrum Generations brings you programs that discuss issues that are important to all of us, and today is no exception. We have three extraordinary guests. We have sisters who have learned a wonderful way to help mom and to help each other deal with everything. And we have Tammy Bork, who is the, let me see your title, Team Leader, Spectrum Generations at the Muskie Center, but we're talking about adult daycare and respite care, which has to be important to a lot of us. And I'm thinking here is, I'm probably going to need that one of these days. And I am so excited to meet these two sisters who seem to be coping with that and seem to be very happy with their moms. I want to introduce them, Elaine Riddle. Elaine, where do you live?
I live in Freedom.
In Freedom, and her sister, Jeanine Deas. And where do you live, Jeanine?
In Winslow.
And I want to hear more about mom, who is?
Esther.
Esther. They have a wonderful mom. I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about Esther first, and then we'll talk about what you have found to make life really enjoyable for both you and your mom.
Okay. Well, my mom is 90 this month.
90 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she came to live with us about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Prior to that, she was living in Westbrook. She raised 7 children.
Okay. The mom of 7. You're 2 lucky ones who live close to her now. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. And she was one of 7 children growing up.
Lucky 7 for
lucky
your
7.
family.
Yeah.
And so tell me how she came to live with the 2 of you. You want to answer that one?
We needed to have her evaluated about 2 years ago.
Okay.
She was showing symptoms of not being able to care for herself.
Okay,
And
you were concerned.
Yes.
Was she living in her own home
she
at
was
that
living
time?
in senior housing. in
Senior
Westbrook,
housing. Okay.
Right, which does not offer services. They're strictly independent.
It was independent living, and you became concerned. What made you concerned?
Other siblings living in the area would call and tell us certain things were going on that just didn't sound right to us. So we would make trips down and realized on the hands-on, we realized that she needed some
She needed more care than she was
more
able to
care
get.
and evaluation to see what was going on.
Okay.
So we had her evaluated, and I don't remember the date,
It was in January 2013.
right? And in March of 2013, we moved her to our area.
And so does she live with both of you, or where does she live?
She does. Initially, when she came up, she moved in with me.
Okay.
And we.
Are you the youngest?
the
oldest?
youngest
Of the 7 children?
Of the 7, no, I
You're in the
am
middle.
third to the youngest.
Third
so
to
I'm
the
sort of
youngest.
in the middle.
And how about you? Are you big sister or little sister?
I'm
You
the
look the
oldest, and at this table of guests, I'm the oldest.
So at any rate,
Yeah.
she came to live with you at first.
She did, but her coming to my home, we did some preparation for her being there. We put a gate at the top of the stairs where her bedroom was going to be located.
Okay.
And we, took up carpets and we put in a bathroom with bars. And
Okay, you were trying to avoid falls. You had to help her deal with her aging process.
Right.
And so...
So initially, we thought that she would be
Okay.
living with me full time, but it didn't take long for Elaine and us to realize that
she required more time than that.
that having us do it together, me during the work week, Elaine would be with my mom so that I could work.
You're working, and you are...
I'm retired.
You're retired, so you worked it out to fit both schedules.
Yes, I retired 6 months before our mom came to live with us.
Wow, you had a very short retirement,
did.
it sounds like.
But I'm more than happy to be
How
having one.
wonderful, and you two seem very close, and
We
you're
are.
sharing this. All right, but I'm going to turn to Tammy for a minute. Tammy offers services through her Spectrum Generations,
Yes.
of course. But Tammy, why would they need they're doing great. These are wonderful, beautiful sisters. They have a mom who's 90. They've taken care of her. Where do you come in?
Well, we offer respite for families. Caregiving is one of the most hardest jobs.
It is, isn't it?
Yes. And so it is a safe place for somebody to come and spend the day while they can continue to do whatever it is that they have to do, work or errands, grocery shopping, doctor's appointments.
Get some downtime.
Yes. Yes, because they're with them 24/7, where
Right.
we just have them for.
So they can, tell me how respite care works. Is that just a day or is there overnight respite care? How does it work?
Our center is just Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday.
Yep, from 7:30 to 4.
Okay.
And we also have 3 other adult day breaks within Central Maine.
Okay, and where are they?
They are in Hollowell and Belfast, Skowhegan, and the Muskie Center in
Wonderful.
Waterville.
So just contact Spectrum Generations if you're in need of respite
Yes.
care for a loved one you're caring for.
Yes, definitely.
And so is there space? I mean, if someone needed this service, I have to
At this time, yes, we do have openings in all of
And
our
so
centers.
do you have to go 5 days a week, or can you just take mom when you want to? How does it work?
Whatever it works out for the family. Yeah.
All right, so you started using this service. Why?
Well, because we knew that we would need times, there would be times when we would need someone to be with our mom.
When you couldn't be.
When we couldn't be. And I was a little bit familiar with the Muskie Center and knew that there was this program there, but I had never, visited except to drop off some
Of course.
stuff that a neighbor was donating, and he asked me to bring it there. And so I made an appointment and met Tammy and started talking with her about my mom and needing this, and it became emotional for me.
I'm
And
sure.
I had, up to that point, I was dealing with this pretty well. Elaine and I were working things out together, but just having the conversation.
The relief that you must have felt that, yes, I'm going to do my part, but it's nice to have some backup here.
And Tammy was very understanding and very compassionate, and I went home and I said to my sister, this is where I think we want Mom to be. And,
Okay, and you agreed?
Totally. Tammy is very accommodating. Last minute call or an email to her. I've got an appointment. Oh, I forgot to call you yesterday. No problem, just bring her in. I mean, we don't even have to
So they're
worry.
part of your family.
Oh, yes.
Tammy's group becomes
They
part of your
are.
family.
They are.
And Mom is not just client number
No,
3,
it's
4,
very,
5.
It's very personal.
She's Esther.
She's
She's
Esther.
She
Esther.
is, right.
And you don't always know ahead of time when something's going to come
No.
up. You don't always know. And it sounds like that Tammy can take care of that most of the time.
We do try our best, yes, to accommodate families. We know that it's hard for them. We do have to follow a state regulation ratio, but
But if you can take care of people, you do.
Yes,
and you
we do.
understand being flexible is really
Yes.
important. Well, let's talk about Mom for a minute. How did she feel? How did you break the news to her that she's going to a daycare or a respite care?
well, she wasn't really on board initially.
Okay.
But she,
Mom sounds like she's very independent based on her living until she came to you.
she was, yes.
And she loves the two of you. She's comfortable with you, and she doesn't know Tammy.
You got it.
She pretty much wants to be with my sister or myself all the time.
It's right.
So it's
I
hard
can
to
understand that.
introduce. It's hard to introduce different settings to her, and
Okay.
so it took a while for her to warm up to them. And now she's part of their family, and she's greeted by staff and other clients there, and they enjoy having her there. So
How did you do the transition? How did you move Esther into a comfort zone with?
Well, Elaine and I had signed up for the Savvy Caregiver program.
Oh, okay.
which
Tell
was
me about
another
that. I've heard
program
about that. Savvy Caregiver.
Yes, and it's a 6 to 8 week program where you learn about the Alzheimer's disease and
How
to
wonderful.
care for, as they call, your person
and that's through Senior Spectrum.
Your person
also.
and yourselves,
and
I'll
ourselves.
bet you.
Yes, yeah. And so
And where's the Savvy Caregiver program? Is that,
It is part of Spectrum
that's part of what you do?
Generations, Yes.
Tammy, do you teach
I
that?
do not, no.
But you know all about it, of course,
I do.
because they want you to know that, because it isn't easy what you're doing, is it? And you need that emotional support as well as So this is how it works, and
Right.
other people are going through the same thing.
And part of that training is making us aware that we do need to take care of ourselves.
Which is hard to do.
It is. As a caregiver,
Because
you
you're
want to be
worried
there
about
all the
her.
time. Right.
All-
And so we learned how to do that.
And you have your own families too, in addition to mom.
Right. Very supportive families.
Very supportive families, but still, this training you found to be very beneficial.
Yeah, so that was when she first started going to DayBreak. We arranged with Tammy to have her come during the hours that we were at the training.
So you were all there together so she could feel confident and comfortable because you were just in another room at the same place.
We actually weren't, because the location for that group when we were taking it in
somewhere
the
else.
spring was in Skowhegan.
But it was the same day anyway, so she knew, okay.
Right.
So as best she could, she was understanding what was happening.
So it started out with just a few hours at a time, and now, you know, sometimes she'll do a full, well, like once a week she's doing a full day, and then another
I might bring
day.
her in maybe 2 mornings a week for if I'm having appointments or.
Yeah, and it's probably, I'm going to ask Tammy this question, and you as well. She probably enjoys it, even though she's dealing with her Alzheimer's and various issues, to be in a different setting that's comfortable.
Yes.
Probably breaks the routine and the monotony of everyday life of being in one place.
It does, yes. And that's what our program is for, so that they will be able to still enjoy their days. They're not out in their usual work setting or their home setting, but I do feel that our program is very homey. And we all do get along very well. The consumers feel that they're each other's families, and we just try to have the activities so that they don't have to worry about what's going on.
Right, so it's now become the third place she goes. She goes to each sister's house, and she goes to you.
Yep.
And all those are comfortable places, so she's doing very well, would
It's
you say?
comfortable for us too.
And for you
When I
too.
walk out that door, I know I don't have to worry.
But otherwise, if you just hired someone to come in or whatever, she's now comfortable and safe, and that gives you peace of
Exactly.
mind, which is important to caring for yourself, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
For both of you.
Yeah.
It is. And
So tell me a little bit about what she does when she comes to see you for those 1 hour or 2 hours. What does she do?
Well, she participates in, we have different activities such as bingo. Bingo is a huge hit. We never can mess around with changing up the schedule for bingo. When we
And
do
so
some
your mom
crafts.
plays bingo?
She
And
does
she still
now.
enjoys it. She didn't before, but she's learned to play bingo. And even with her limitations at the moment, she can do the game.
Yes.
All right, and you don't change it because they like the sameness, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if it's scheduled, you do it.
Yes.
All right. What else does she do?
She enjoys, we have a lot of discussion topics also.
Really?
Yes.
Give me an example.
I call it, it's what we call, what would you do? And the topic that we just talked about a couple of days ago was an older gentleman had lost his wife a couple of years ago, and he started dating a new woman, but yet he still had pictures up in his living room of his wife.
Okay.
And the new girlfriend was kind of feeling uncomfortable with that. So the question was, if you were the man or if you were the woman, what would you do?
I see.
And so it's-
we are never too old to think
Never.
about dating and other
Never.
people's pictures. And your mom liked that?
I'd like to know what her response was.
What was her response?
She said that you should probably take the pictures down.
All right. Well, on that note, we're going to take a brief break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of Mature Lifestyle.
Spectrum Generations. Live healthy, live well. Get answers, get connected. Spectrum Generations, specializing in the art of aging.
You're watching Time Warner Cable Community.
Hello, welcome back to Mature Lifestyle. We're having a wonderful discussion about help for those who are very special caregivers. And I'm going to come back to Tammy, who works at Spectrum Generations and does exactly that. Tammy was telling us some wonderful stories of what happens when we take the adults that we're caring for to Tammy for respite care or daycare while we're doing some errands. And she was talking about the activities they do, but we didn't get to finish. So Tammy, what else does their mom, Esther, when she comes to you, what does she like to do?
We have crafts available. I do have an art therapist that comes in every other week.
Right.
We have spiritual time once a week, and we have 2 spiritual leaders that come and volunteer their time.
Yes.
We also have volunteers that come and help out with the bingo. We rely heavily on our volunteer program.
Bet. So you could probably always use a few more of those.
Definitely, yes, yes. Volunteering is, I feel, as rewarding as doing your regular job, if not more, because you're giving up your own time.
And I'm sure it means a lot to you to know these volunteers, because you mentioned earlier you've become part of this big family. You know the volunteers as well, right?
Right, and they enjoy coming, specifically Flo. Is that her name? I can't remember.
So
Claire.
she's giving a shout out to one of the volunteers.
Yes, Claire, she's
because
wonderful.
you can't thank them enough, can you? Because
No.
you do. And this sounds like an extraordinary opportunity. It's worked very well for these ladies and their mom. Is it affordable?
It
Can
is.
anybody afford to come?
It is an affordable alternative to going into a nursing facility.
Oh, yes.
There is funding that is available, and that is through different programs. We have mid-state grants that
So the important
we
thing is to
have.
contact Spectrum Generations for
Yes.
some information about this opportunity, just like you did. You walked in and you talked to Tammy and you got all the help that you needed. We understand that people who come there, we talked about your mom who's dealing with Alzheimer's, but there are other issues there for the scene. They're all ages. Tell us a little bit about the diversity that you see.
Yep. Spectrum Generations, Adult Daybreaks, we have, in order to come, you have to be at least 19 years old. So you can be 19 to
90.
19 to 90, I like that.
We did have, a couple of months ago, our oldest consumer ever, he was 101.
Oh my goodness.
And he was awesome. So there is a diversity of clientele. It's not just Alzheimer's.
Right.
We also have people with cerebral palsy, with autism.
So anybody who needs round-the-clock care,
Yes,
really.
supervision throughout the day.
Throughout the
That's
day. So
why
that's
we're
the
there.
key. You did say one other thing that's important. If you're dealing with someone with the Alzheimer's, when's the best time to bring someone?
The best time to bring them in, or the easiest time
Right.
for them to adjust to the program, is to come at the early stages of
Right.
Alzheimer's, so that they can accommodate themselves that this is going to be part of their daily
Right,
structure
so it's
now.
not all strange. You said routine was very
Yes,
important,
very
and they're
important.
processing things a little better at the early stages.
Yes, yes.
Well, before we go any further talking about that, we have some beautiful photographs of your mom and you, actually, and we'll learn a little more about the activities. Let's look at this first photograph. Now, which one is mom?
Thanks, Libby.
No, you look so much alike. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Two beautiful women. So tell us about that one. Since it's about you, you get to talk about that one.
That was the summer following my graduation from high school. And in the backyard, a picture of my mom and I. It was a
How
cookout
old was she
going on.
then?
Okay, if I was 18, okay. Oh, thanks. Do you make me do math?
I'm sorry, I won't do that. But anyway, you were just 18.
She was in her 50s.
She was in her 50s, remarkably young looking, really, and a beautiful, beautiful woman. And
Thank
we
you.
can see where you get your good looks as well. So, but anyway, that's mom. Back in the days when you never dreamed that you would be her caretaker.
Right.
She was celebrating her graduation. Then let's look at picture number 2. This is mom before adult daycare. Talk to us about that.
This is where it's really clear that there's something going on. She's looking really tired and almost this lost look on her face.
Right.
And we were on a vacation and we stopped and had this picture taken. This is the summer before she was
So
diagnosed.
she's not in the daycare yet.
No.
She's still surrounded by loving hands. I can see that. And then let's look at the next picture after she starts coming to Tammy's place. And what do you see, sisters?
Actually coming to Tammy's place and our places. we all worked on this.
That's true. So she was in the hands of 3 caretakers, really, 3 people
Yes,
who cared about
her diet's better. We helped her with her grooming,
Right.
and she just seems happier. And
She put on weight.
And you can tell the difference in the 2 photographs, can't you?
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
yeah, so you feel
dramatic.
good about that.
Yeah.
How about the next photograph? Who are these people? They're coming up right here. Who are those folks?
that's the 3 of us.
The 3 of you.
Is that in?
This was, nope, this was Brandon's graduation.
Oh, okay.
So she's participating with you in the community.
Yeah,
and
she
looking
does
very happy.
everything that we
Everything.
do.
She's more active now than she's been in years.
Okay, and the next photograph, a lot of people, this must be at the DayBreak Center.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
That is our dining room, and they're all in the middle of having their lunch there and enjoying it. They absolutely love their lunchtime.
Well, it's a, well, I would too. This must be good food. This is a plug for the chef, all right?
Yes, it is.
Libby, if you notice in the background, there's some musicians. This was when my husband and my son, David and Brandon, came and did music.
How wonderful. So they must love the music as well, more volunteers. And then in the next photograph, what's happening? I see a flag in the background.
That is, we are engaging in karaoke there.
Karaoke. Okay.
Yes.
Your mom does karaoke?
I am
didn't
shocked.
know it.
It's the first
She
time I've
does.
seen her doing
And she
that.
does it beautifully. Music is a huge part of our program.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
And with karaoke, they're part of it. They're not
Yes.
just listening. She's part of it.
a lot
So
of
you've learned
hands-on.
something new about mom. She kept that
did.
from you all these years.
Right.
And the next photograph looks like somebody's having some delicious food. What's happening there?
Yes, that is part of the ice cream social that Jeanine and her family put on for us.
So you can, as the caregivers, you want to do something special for them, so you brought ice cream
Absolutely.
and had an ice cream social.
It was beautiful.
I think everybody's lined up for that. No problem with serving ice
It
cream.
was just showing our appreciation for what they do
Isn't
for
that
us.
wonderful? Will you do that again because they liked it so
Absolutely.
much? So it was a good way
Absolutely.
for you to give back to the
Absolutely,
community that's supporting your mom. And finally, Miss Glamorous here, your mom, what a happy looking person with her sunglasses on. What would you say about that photograph?
Well, it's the savvy caregiver term. It's called contented involvement.
Contented involvement. What would you say about it?
I agree with Elaine there. And that what was happening there was getting her to have some outdoor time.
Yes.
And she's resistant to doing things. You have to kind of coax her to get her to do things. But once she's out there doing the activity, she really is content and enjoying it.
And you can see that.
Yeah.
So you have to have an understanding of what these groups need, and you work with them to get them to do the different things that are good for them.
Yes.
So once she's there, it's worth the effort.
Yes.
So how did you learn how to deal with those resistant behaviors?
It is just part of our training.
job.
Yep. And just listen to the person, and you can really tell.
Isn't that important? No matter what age, no matter what the disease or whatever they're dealing with, to listen to the person.
Very important.
And it sounds like you do that. Tell me a little bit about the rest of your family. Are they excited, your siblings, that you have found such a good place?
They're very happy that she's getting out more and doing more. They are very appreciative of us
Oh, I am
taking on this
sure.
awesome responsibility.
It is awesome.
And they are aware of where she's going, and they're pleased to hear that she's doing a lot of activities now, and she shows an interest. And she shares that with them when she talks to them on the phone. They're in southern Maine.
And she'll talk to them on the phone even about this. And is that your experience as well? People
Yes.
are just thrilled
Yeah.
with how things are going?
Yeah.
So what would you advise other people who are thinking about taking on that responsibility? Is it a good thing to do? Are you any regrets?
Not
No
at all.
regrets.
Absolutely
Not at
not.
We understand it's an individual decision.
Of course,
and it doesn't
of
work
course. It
for
doesn't work for
everyone.
everybody.
But if you are able to, it's incredibly rewarding. And to spend this time with your loved one, it's so important.
Sounds like with this great care, she's going to be the next one that breaks 100 at your facility because she enjoys music, she enjoys life. It sounds like you've let her continue to enjoy life. And so what else would you say if people are interested in coming to your program? Can they come and visit? Is it all right to visit the facility? Because we want to see where we're taking our loved ones, don't we?
Definitely, and that's part of the process. You can come in for a tour, and I'd be very happy to show you around. And then we set up a free visit for their loved one to come and stay with us for a couple of hours. And that way there, it gives them a chance to check us out and see if it's something that they want to do throughout the day. And then we can assess at that time also to make sure that we are capable of caring for this person.
Right, you have to have a right match, don't you?
Yes.
You have to have the right skills.
Yes.
How many people can come on a given day? You talked about ratios because you want to make sure that mom is not lost with about 15 or 20 people.
Yeah, the Muskie Center, we have a license for 40, and then the Belfast Center and the Hollowell Center have a license for 25, and then the Skowhegan Center has a license for 15.
That is absolutely amazing. So all over the state.
Yes.
And so that's another good reason Mom chose you, because you're close to these extraordinary facilities. So what else would you say is important in terms of getting the finances in order to make sure Mom can come? Is this Medicare appropriate?
Unfortunately, Medicare does not cover for our
so
programs.
it's up to the family.
It is. They need to get in touch with Maine Care and have a Gould assessment done. And then Gould will
But there are
contact
things
us.
out there that would help you, so that should not be a stumbling block,
And
right?
it's still
Definitely not.
affordable, even though they don't qualify for the
And
funding.
as you pointed out, so much cheaper than having to be in a full-time facility, which is not what she would want at all, is it?
No.
No, it is.
So again, you have been great role models, and it makes me encouraged. I hope my daughters, who are sisters, will take me on with such aplomb. But I mean, that would mean, I think what you're doing here today means a lot to older people who think, oh dear, that might be me one day. Thank goodness there's an adult daycare. Thank goodness there are family members who are not so burdened, but who are happy, who are delighted to take care of Mom. And that train people like Tammy. Tammy, you just make me want to come for a visit. I mean,
Come on down.
it is clear that you're welcome, you're open to comments, that you want people to come and see for themselves.
Yes, we do.
What you have
I
to
do feel
offer.
that we are the best kept secret.
Absolutely.
After
It
today,
doesn't have
I
to be a
hope that the
secret.
secret
No.
is widespread and that the consumers, you're very nice, you're calling them the consumers, but they're part of your program too.
Yes, they are.
Because you could not operate without them.
I was
So-
saying to Tammy before we came in to the taping today, I said, you're in the right place, and
right.
my mom's in the right place because of you.
What a great way to end. You're all in the right place. Thank you for watching our show today. We'll be back later on another day with more Mature Lifestyle.